evening. This regular meeting of August 14th, 2017 of the Dubuque Community School Board of Education is called to order. Our mission is to develop world-class learners and citizens of character in a safe and inclusive learning community. Roll call, please.
Mr. Barton.
Here.
Mr. Byteen.
Here.
Mr. Donahue. Mr. Prohaska.
Here.
Ms. Ryan.
Here.
Ms. Siegert.
Here.
Ms. Whitman.
Here. All right, we have the Pledge of Allegiance on our own.
On our own.
Last time.
Last time on
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chairman, I move that the Board of Education approve the agenda as submitted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the agenda as submitted. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education approve the minutes of the regular meeting on July 17th, 2017 as submitted.
Second. It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the minutes of the regular meeting on July 17th, 2017 as submitted. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Board salutes. I think we've got some out there.
Madam Vice President, yes, I have a salute here. We're fortunate as a district to have many individuals who have generously supported us philanthropically. Tonight we'd like to recognize the estate of Cedric Dizizione for the gift of astrological equipment valued at over $15,000. This gift will benefit students for many years to come, so we congratulate Cedric. Thank you.
I have a salute. We would like to congratulate Dubuque Senior High School Social Studies teacher Dane Leadham, who was among 30 educators from across the country attending the C-SPAN Classrooms 2017 Educators Conference. Dane traveled to Washington, D.C. for the conference with educators from across the country based on his dedication to learning new resources and applying them in the classroom. While there, he learned about C-SPAN and C-SPAN learning resources. Thanks, Dane, for taking the extra effort.
Thank you.
I have a board salute as well. So a board salute goes to the many staff members across the district who've been working over the summer months to be sure we're ready to start school next week. From the buildings and grounds, getting the buildings ready, to the IT, getting the laptops ready to deploy, the food service, preparing the meal programs, community relations, launching the e-registration, HR, payroll, and benefits, getting new employees on board, and the list goes on and on. So much happens during the summer to be sure that the start of the school year goes off without a hitch, and thanks goes to many, many staff and who make it happen. So thank you to them.
Great. Thank you.
I have just an additional board salute. I'd like to pass on a salute to Bill and Charlie and the gang of custodians that were at senior high school, I believe on July 17th when they had the
rainstorm.
The unfortunate rainstorm, and they were there on Saturday morning working diligently along with some of the common construction people to ensure that the water was drained out, that it was all dried out, so your work does not go unrecognized. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I move that the Board of Education suspend the rules of order and go into open forum.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Board of Education suspend the rules of order and go into open forum. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any persons wishing to address the board at this time?
I move that the Board of Education reinstate the rules of order, return to regular session.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education reinstate the rules of order and return to regular session. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I move that the Board of Education approve those items listed in the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve those items listed in the consent agenda. Are there any members wishing to have any items removed from this agenda? Okay, there being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Wow, we are going to be doing well. It depends on how fast you can go. Mr. Byteen, Facilities and Support
I'll try to be
Services.
swift and efficient.
Slow us down a little bit.
Maybe efficient, I don't know, how about swift? Yeah, just a handful of items, Madam Vice President. First, I'll move that the Board of Education approve change order number 8 to Conlin Construction on the senior high school renovation project in the increased amount of $32,994.16.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve change order number 8 to Conlin Construction on the senior high school renovation project in the increased amount of $32,994.16. Is there any discussion?
We know that, we do have adjustments to the budget from time to time. There was nothing extraordinary out of this particular report and support services, so I recommend we approve the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
I move the Board of Education approve change order number 1 to Giese Roofing Company on the Hoover School roof replacement project to extend the contract completion date to July 21st, 2018 with no charge in contract price.
Second.
No change.
Change. Yeah.
What did I say?
You said
Yep,
charge.
charge.
Oh, I'm sorry, no change.
Makes a big
maybe there'd be
difference.
no charge.
Friendly amendment. Friendly amendment. Let's make it change.
Yeah, it is change.
No charge.
I'll second that correction.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve change order number 1 to Giese Roofing Company on the Hoover School roof replacement project to extend the contract completion date to July 21st, 2018 with no change in contract price. Is there any discussion?
Just, it's not unusual for a date to be shifted, and this exactly was the case, and there was obviously no additional charge for that.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
Move the Board of Education approve the donation of used student desks that are no longer of use to the district to Hillcrest Family Services.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the donation of used student desks that are no longer used to the district to Hillcrest Family Services. Is there any discussion?
There are, I think, was a total of 60 desks that we had available for donation. They, I think, took a possession of between 25 and 30 of those desks.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
This next motion has to do with the facility belief statements. We have a statement of beliefs that we've developed as a board, and there were no amendments. We had made prior amendments to this, I think, going into last year. And this year, we felt that it was in keeping with the values, beliefs, and standards that we have set as a board. So with that, I move the Board of Education approve the facility belief statement as submitted.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the facility belief statement as submitted. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
And the final motion from facility support is I move the Board of Education approve the transfer of funds from the general fund to the student activity fund in the amount of $21,278.40, which was used to purchase protective and safety equipment required for any extracurricular interscholastic athletic contest or competition for the 2016-17 school year.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the transfer of funds from the general fund to the student activity fund in the amount of $21,278.40, which was used to purchase protective and safety equipment required for any extracurricular interscholastic athletic contest or competition for the 2016-17 school year. Is there any discussion?
That's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries.
That's it, Madam Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now on to educational programs policy strategy. Ms. Whitman.
During our education meeting, we had David Moeller and David Olson talk a little bit about how the schools partner with NICC. There are 12 courses that our students can take part in as it's an alternative option, and it's called a placement in college credit. So it's a great opportunity for our students. We also went through some different policies, update, change the language, and that was about it.
Okay.
We also, I'm sorry, we did talk about elementary class sizes. It was a little too early to kind of, just for the final numbers. So those will be coming as those last registrations come in.
Do Need a motion?
I need the motion for the legislative priorities that we have.
Oh, okay. I move that the Board of Education approve the 2017-2018 IASB legislative priorities as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Board of Education approve the 2017-18 IASB legislative priorities as will be presented.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to look off of Tara's computer. The dog ate my homework or something. I can't find my form. So as you know, every year we are pretty active legislatively about working in Des Moines with the legislators, the governor's office, about passing legislation that is impactful to Iowa's public schools. So we take that duty seriously. We are involved in multiple opportunities to set legislative priorities. Tonight it's the Iowa Association of School Board priorities. So they send us a list of 30 plus priorities. We are asked to pick between 3 and 5 of those as a board, send those to the IASB. Then at their convention in November, a delegate from this board and other boards will vote on those, and that's how IASB will determine their legislative priorities. Not to be confused with the fact that we were also involved with the Urban Education Network, which sets its own priorities. And then, of course, we set individual priorities as a district, which are shared at our legislative dinner sponsored by the city, either in late November or early December. So you may hear slight nuances that are different, and you're wondering why we have different legislative priorities, and it's because the process by which they're developed. And so the most personal ones, most specific, I should say, to Dubuque Community School Districts are the ones that we share in November, December at the legislative dinner. But these were kind of constrained within a list. We had a great discussion about where we are in education in the state of Iowa and where we best think we could spend our efforts this year. We know from media reports and others that this is likely to be a bumpy road from a resource standpoint for the state. Some of their tax revenues are not where they had been projected. So we wanted to focus our efforts in areas where we thought we could make a difference. So from the list provided, the 4 that we chose were not in necessarily particular order. Number 27 supports the repeal of the December 31st, 2029 sunset of the statewide penny sales tax for school infrastructure, supports preserving the integrity of the statewide sales tax for school infrastructure, indicating the tax equity provision in the following manner. No diversions or expansions of allowable use prior to the current 2029 sunset, continued growth in the per pupil amount beyond the 2029 sunset. So we are asking that the legislature continue to fund or make it possible for school districts such as Dubuque to make the infrastructure facility changes needs, as well as purchase the technology that our students need. You're all well aware of the list: Prescott, Roosevelt, additions at many of the elementaries, certainly significant additions at Hempstead, renovations rapidly being completed at senior high prior to next week, as well as moving forward with a swimming pool. But that doesn't certainly exhaust our needs for infrastructure. We have, we're keeping a close eye on the Southwest Arterial. What will that do to the demographics of the district? We're looking at needing some updates at some of our middle schools, some of our elementaries, air conditioning. So anyway, we know that the sales tax doesn't cost the legislature anything. It's just the collection of the sales tax and sending that to the school district. So it's not an increase to the state budget, so we're trying to be sensitive to their financial situation.
May I add?
Absolutely.
They collect the revenue and they send us most of what they collect.
Correct.
Which is an important distinction because it used to not be that way.
Correct.
Till they stormed the Bastille and took it over at the state. Sorry.
Correct. And we are also in support of it staying as it was voted on by the folks that voted on the tax, not be deviated from that.
Yep.
Number 2, unfunded mandates. At the legislative level, we see mandates come down sometimes that schools should do this or should do that, and they don't come with resources. And when they don't come with resources, that means we have to take away from something else that we're doing in order to fund the new mandate. So if they're going to add a requirement, we believe it's fair that they fund that. So we are going to add no unfunded mandates to that list. Also, number 15, alternative licensure. Supports the adoption of alternative teacher licensure upon completion of research-based teaching pedagogy training in addition to content knowledge in a curricular area. The teacher shortage at the secondary level is very quickly becoming a reality, as can be attested to by Mr. Kramer. Foreign languages, math, science, industrial technology. When I started as Human Resource Director 14 years ago, we would have, in some cases, in every case, at least 10 or 12 applicants, in most cases 60 or 70 applicants. Today, it's not uncommon for us to have almost none, and in some cases, 0. So I think it is time to consider prompting more young folks to go into education, but in the meantime, looking at alternative licensure. And certainly there are people who would look at teaching as a calling after they've been in the, maybe they've been an engineer, maybe they've been in the business world, maybe they've been in the industrial tech construction world. With some training, could be very impactful teachers for our young people. And then number 4, or our 4th one is number 1, research-based initiative supports implementation of initiatives in Iowa's K-12 education system that are research-based, focused on student achievement, and do not repurpose existing education funds. So we are very progressive in how we view education needing to change, but we just want to make sure that changes that come from the state level or come from our direction are research-based, are focused on student achievement, and don't just simply move where the current funding is. So those are our 4 recommendations from the committee for IASB.
I'll just add that we know that every recommendation that came through from IASB, including some of these, but we're all about the same issue over and over again, more money. And we know we're not going to get that. So what can we do to get a message across legislatively that can get a change that might not cost as much money? And that's what we're trying to do. We can't keep asking for the same thing and getting no results and expect things to change. So we need to change our way of doing it, and we're going to work on that with the UEN as well, is what can we get? What can we get them to loosen up on? And so we tried to pick the least amount of things. I've seen some in the paper of different districts. They just put out the same, priorities, and we just need to get away from some of that. So,
Well, this past legislative session, at least they did make this little allowance, and we passed that tonight to allow some money to be transferred from the general fund to allow for safety equipment. So that was one move where maybe some of the guidelines for funding will be somewhat eased a little bit as far as what you can spend on what. So.
And again, we'll create sort of our homegrown or very specific to Dubuque, and one of the things that we've continued to, and we'll have this conversation, is local control. So we believe that the folks who are elected locally to represent the citizens should have the majority voice in our programming as well as how our funds are spent, and that shouldn't come from anybody other than the folks locally who make those decisions.
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah, I'll just make one quick point, and that is, I think that about the time you start tooting your own horn, you're going to get in trouble. But I think we've made it look deceptively easy, in this board has made it look deceptively easy in dealing with the state budget snarl that we've had. I mean, things like early retirement incentives, so that we didn't have blood in the streets from staff being picked off one by one, which is just brutal. The other one is when you cut entire programs rather than nibbling back at everything, including extracurriculars, because you want to see a holy war, you cut out, pick insert program name here. And boy, we've tried very, very hard to insulate our students and our staff and our community from the mess that's been going on in Des Moines. And in some ways, we've almost made it look too easy, because I have friends on school boards in other places where they can't finish schools that they started building. It's just a mess in some places, and I think we've been very fortunate here. But Stan, you provided a lot of leadership that's kind of kept our fat out of the fire in dealing with a very, very, very difficult situation in Des Moines.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, any board member or administrative issues?
I'd just maybe like to have Stan to kind of give us a little preview of how things are setting up for the start of our school year. I know the teachers come in on Tuesday and the students report next week, midweek roughly. So how's things going?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to cover that under administrative issues. So things are going well. They're working fast and furiously. at senior high school to make that building as it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fantastic when it's done. There just may be some carryover of a few weeks or so as we finish some things off. But things are going very well. Tomorrow morning, we have tomorrow is our first day back for all of our teachers. Our new employees have been here since Friday. Teachers are tomorrow, and then the rest of the students start next week with an orientation day and then full day of school. So that creaking sound you hear is the door of summer closing very rapidly. So we're very excited, as we always are this time of year. We know that a lot of great things have happened over the summer. Certainly the change in a pilot for our report card at the elementary level that was really going to be a changer for us down the road, as well as co-teaching and all the things that were on the priority initiatives for the last year. So we're excited about the start of the school year. I think we mostly have a full staff. Looking at Phil.
Phil shaking his head. Oh, he's shaking his head this way now. Okay, that's good.
It's been an interesting year.
It truly, when I talk about the teacher shortage, or Phil does it, it truly is upon us in many ways. And so I know we're very excited, as we should be, as we always are with the start of a new school year. So certainly invited tomorrow morning, and then we've got some days of professional development that are going to be fantastic for our staff. You're certainly invited to stop by any of those sessions as well.
84 degrees a week from Tuesday. Looks like our highest temperature here in the next 15 days. So if we
Correct.
dodged another bullet there. Yeah.
Upper 70s the beginning of the following week. Not that I look at the 15-day forecast every 10
That's
minutes.
Not gonna have
That's good.
76 and 56 on Monday in 2 weeks. So that's,
We're good.
that's pretty good.
Any other items?
Plug the air conditioners.
Yep.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.